This summer, I plan to walk through the writing process from idea to completion. In this video, let's talk about outlines and first drafts. Writer Anne Lamott calls the first draft the down draft. The point of the first draft is to get it down. If we want to write something, a novel, a script, or a poetry collection, then the only word that matters is completion. Writers complete projects, even if it's bad. And I've never written a good first draft, nor have I met any writer who has. But completing something is the point. A bad completed work is better than nothing. So how do we get to completion? Let's say we've completed scratch work and developed an idea into something more. We have characters, we've conceived the world they live in, and we've created a rough set of imaginary circumstances, their actions, the events caused by their actions, and how they react to the actions. Every writer is different. Some writers who have a sense of direction or a starting line will just start writing a first draft and discover everything as they continue to plot through. That's fine. If we would benefit from some direction, however, consider writing an outline. An outline allows us to write a story before we write the story. In an outline, we're charting the narrative. Using very explanatory, very direct language, we're just jotting down what happens. In our scratch work, we've determined our characters, their motivations, their goals, and the world they live in. An outline elaborates on these elements. We're describing each action or event that leads to their goal or to the new normal. As I've said in the previous video, we should figure out what disruption our character faces that changes the status quo of their life. A disruption, or in monomyth terms, a call to action, calls our characters to act. They do not have to save the world, but they're saving their world. In the first video, we introduced a murder mystery idea. A father murders his son. We've developed some of the story elements. Let's say the father and son live in a rural area where murder is uncommon. Let's say no one suspects the father of doing bad, but no one is surprised that the son was murdered. He had it coming, someone in the town might say. And let's add another character, a sister, investigating the murder. In mystery fiction, some plots involving murder are referred to as whodunit. Let's say we're writing what's called a how catch 'em, where we read the murder happening early on. The murder is the disruption or call to action, and now we're following characters trying to conceal the crime, the father, and solve it, the sister. In an outline, we need to elaborate on this normal town and the normal lives of the father, son, and the sister. We can tell the reader who they are, but that's no fun. Let's imagine them in spaces in which, by watching them like a fly on the wall, we can witness their character traits or behavior. If the sister is respectable, but stubborn, loyal, and a problem solver, we can establish her in the circumstances in which she expresses those traits. So let's say she's a teacher, so we can start by having her stand up for a troublemaker student who is in a fight and is now facing consequences. Maybe because the troublemaker student reminds her of her brother. Wink. Maybe she believes in fairness, justice, and second chances. We can use circumstances to establish the relationships between all of them, then use these circumstances to lead into the disruption, the murder of the son by the father. This is a call to action for two of our characters. For the father, he has to conceal the murder and act as if he knows nothing. For the sister, she will do whatever is necessary to solve the mystery, including interviewing characters experiencing hardship or who pose danger. For those new to writing, creating an outline or completing a story to its ending can pose challenges. One thing I like to do to get over the hill of completion is to conceive the ending first. If we have an ending in mind, then we can work backwards to establish causality, or we know what will lead to the end and can move forward. Let's say in the end, the sister solves the murder and discovers her father did it, but she doesn't turn him in because she agrees the son acted in a heinous way. Knowing that end can help us chart the outline. If the sister and the father reconcile, then maybe we show them at odds in the beginning. If the sister accepts what her father did, then maybe we show her as someone on her brother's side. Once we complete an outline in which we describe the events that will happen over the course of a narrative, we can write our first draft. The outline serves as a recipe. It's not something we have to rigidly stick to, but we can fall back on what we've conceived already. We know what will happen thanks to the outline. Now in the first draft, we can describe what happens and express the story how we want to in order to engage the reader. We know what's going to happen, now we can get it down.